There are gray areas, and I find myself in them quite often. What's up, guys? It's me, Rob, here in the Siser studio. I'm filling in for Patrick. He had a baby. Can you believe it? A beautiful little girl. We are so proud of you, Patrick. Congratulations. Make sure to leave a comment down below, or if you're watching live, throw it in the live feed onto the side. But you guys voted last week. We had to choose between Green Thumb or Rags to Riches. Can you guess what you chose? Green Thumb it is! So we got this awesome craft we're gonna be teaching you how to make today. It's this beautiful hanging gnome or fairy house that can go in your front yard, your backyard, side of the house, school garden, wherever you guys see fit. I'm gonna teach you how to make this cool little niche decoration that everybody's gonna love. So stick around on this episode of Craftin' with Rob. All right, guys, let's jump right in here. I am going to teach you how to take this plastic 1-liter bottle and turn it into this awesome fairy or gnome garden, depending on what you guys prefer. The first things first, we are going to want to wrap this. It's going to be a lot easier to work with if you wrap it first and then start cutting. So as you can see here, on the top we have this green layer, and then the bottom we have the blue. So we're going to just go ahead and follow that pattern here, and we are going to wrap it accordingly with our Siser PSV. All right, we're going to start with the bottom of the bottle here with the blue. So again, I'm going to make this pretty easy for everybody. I don't think you need to have a cutter to do this craft specifically. I want this one to be accessible to everyone out there, regardless of if you have a cutter or just some scissors. This is going to be a fun one for the family. So we're going to measure out the blue side here. So we're going to cut it right about there, I think would be good. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's kind of the beauty of this, is it, whoop, caught it. The beauty of this is that I think it kind of has that handmade look to it. We're gonna take the backing off, and we're gonna lay it flat on the table. And then you're simply just gonna take the bottle and roll it along. So we want it to fit a little bit around the bottom of the bottle here. And I'm just using this hand to hold it and make sure that it's tight. There we go. Now don't worry about the wrinkles you have in there. That kind of adds this bark aesthetic that we're going for. Now you're just going to take your fingers and you're just going to smooth out all those wrinkles. You don't want to be too aggressive. I'm not trying to make it like sharp edges, but we do want to make sure it's properly adhered to the bottle. And once that's done, you're going to take the bottom. So get your fingers in each of those divots. Now, if you're not a fan of these wrinkles here, you can very easily take a heat gun to it, like Patrick did in the last video, and stretch it on over. It completely eliminates all the wrinkles, but like I said, that's not the aesthetic we're going for today, huh? All right, we got the bottom wrapped, now it's time to get the top. So we have some more PSV here. We're gonna measure it out for the top. I'm gonna bring it down to about here. A little bit to work with at the top. Same process as the first time. We're just going to remove it from the backing and then roll it again. You don't even need a mask for this one, guys. How much easier does it get? It's okay if it overlaps because we are going to be cutting off a little bit of this stuff here. So we're gonna roll. And again, guys, we're gonna go for that sort of a bark aesthetic to this. So it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just kind of pressing down here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do a relief cut. Right there. Can you check that out? I got relief cuts now so that when I go to wrap it, they can kind of overlap with each other and not create this giant bulbous mess. But now, just so you guys know, I did take the lid off of this, and this will come into play later. Then when you get to the top here, you're just gonna fold it in on itself. All right, folks, we got our bottle all wrapped and ready to be cut. So as you can see, we've split it right down. We got the green on the top, the blue on the bottom. And so what we're gonna do is we are gonna take our X-Acto knife and we are gonna cut from right here to about right here. So this ring where it overlaps is just gonna be eliminated. Make an incision, there we go. And we're just gonna kind of move it, wiggle it back and forth as we go along the side here. Be very careful with X-Acto knives, guys. Please don't cut yourselves. And boom, we got a separate lid and bottom. Now we're just gonna go through and we are going to remove the overlap here. And this part you can use scissors for. There we go, that seems pretty flat, huh? We've got the lid, we've got the bottle. Now it's time to feather the top of this bottle to make that awesome roof-looking gnome design that I know you guys are just gonna love. So what we wanna do is first divide it into 4. So we're gonna go up. We're only going about 2 inches, right to about here. So now we have it divided into 4s, right? Now we want to take it into 8ths. So down the center of each of those little sections that you've made once more. So now we got this little blossom effect going on, like that. And all you're going to do is you're just going to take each little piece, bend it up, and fold it. You're only going about a 1/4 inch up. And there we go, we got the pleated little rooftop there. So what you can see is when we apply this to the top of the bottle, it stretches it out just a bit and gives it that sort of pleated roof, gnome looking effect. Now we got to cut the entryway for our little creatures to get in. So I would keep it between 2 inches wide, 3 inches tall, something like that. Luckily there's a little lip here that I can use as a measurement. So I'm going to go about a 1/2 inch below the lip. There we go, you go in on the lip, round it, and then we're going to go up with it, and then we're going to do the other side, keep it symmetrical, and then we're going to round it and we're going to meet on the other side here. And just like that we got a doorway. And there you go guys, we've got the bottom, we've got the roof, there's a doorway cut. Now you could stop here. I mean, a fairy or a gnome would call this a house any day of the week, but we want to turn this house into a home. So we got to break out the decoration, guys. Let's get started on the base. All right, guys, I have my glue gun preheated. We have the doorway cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it with this pipe cleaner. So we're just going to pipe a line here. Boom, there we go. This takes a little bit of time. You want to wait for it to dry before you start bending it. You don't want to rip it off of the vinyl there. So I'm going to fast forward through this and get this all wrapped, and I'll check back in with you guys as soon as that's done. Pretty good. Next up, we are going to decorate the outside. I was just shopping at the supermarket and I went over to the crafting section and I saw that someone had picked through all of the existing plants and flowers, but I did find this laying in the bottom of the box. We're just going to snip off a couple of these leaves here. And we are just going to glue them around the outside. Let's find a good spot here. Pop a dab of glue there. There you go, you see it's nice, it's looking like a little side piece. Let's add a little more, huh? I've got this plant, which I got on clearance. I'm going to be stripping some of the pieces off of it because I'm resourceful like that. So we're going to apply this to the side here. Again, it's going to take a little bit, so I'm just going to fast forward through this process and I'll see you back here as soon as I finish. And there we go, guys. Check that out. We got a nice little ridge of moss growing up the side here. So I got this fake moss here and we're just going to dump that in. Make a nice little bed there on the inside. And so I got these little tea lights. They're electric and they don't produce any heat, but they do light up and flicker like a normal tea light would. So I'm just gonna place that in there real gently. And you know what, just for fun, I did pick up this little succulent and it's alive, it's a real succulent. And just to add a little life, I am gonna pop it behind the tea light here, just to make it really look like someone's home. Check that out. Now that we have this bottom part decorated, it's time to move on to the lid. First things first, we want to have something to hang it from. So we are going to put a hole in the top, and I got some string that we are going to run, I would say about 1.5 feet of string. And what we're going to do is slide that through, and you are just going to take the lid here, and we're going to hot glue the string to the lid. And then that way, when you pull it back through, lays flat, and you got a nice hanging roof. Then we're going to tie this. We've got ourselves a hanging gnome lid, but that's not good enough. We got to decorate this lid. On the original, I went for kind of a shingling effect, but we are going for a polka dot effect on this one. All right, the roof is looking really good, but we got one more thing to do. Everybody knows that fairies and gnomes love bells. Love it. Look how cool that is, guys. We gotta hot glue this roof onto this house. A little string of hot glue all the way around the edge here. Pop it on there. That looks real good. I think that's it, guys. I think we're done with our fairy home. Check that out. How cute is that? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm so happy I could be here to teach this to you. And let me know in the comments if you liked it. Now, if you don't know, every week on Fridays on our Instagram and our Facebook, we are doing weekly polls. We give you 2 options for next week's theme. That's how we got the green thumb set up for this week. And if you have ideas for themes, let us know in the comments. We'd love to get more ideas from you guys. We love the engagement. I see a lot of you guys are watching, but you're not subscribed, or if you are subscribed, you don't have notifications turned on. We have so much cool stuff coming out. So make sure you're getting notified every time we put something up on YouTube. So ring that bell down below, hit subscribe if you're not. And thanks for being here, guys. Stay crafty.